Hi there, this is Sarah, and we are going to call today's practice a crouching tiger because we're going to use the fingertips to really dig into our foundation and feel. We're also going to curl the tailbone under to draw the knee in and have that tiger-like ferocity, and it's going to be a little bit different. In Cobra, we're going to slide the hands almost all the way down to the hips and then come up to the fingertips to feel something different in your spine. And different is good. I like the idea of channeling tiger because tigers are this wonderful balance of patience and raw ferocity. They wait for the right moment to just unleash in a beautiful way. So let's unleash, shall we? Enjoy.
Let's begin in a child's pose. Let your arms relax into the mat and feel the gentle curve of your tailbone beneath you. A subtle engagement in the lower belly can make this practice more alive. So find that and breathe. Slide your left hand at shoulder level and come up to your fingertips. Then lean your body weight towards your right hip and just notice what you feel in the lower back, along the outer thigh, in your breathing. And come to center, release your arm and slide your right hand down at shoulder level. Come up to your fingertips and move your body weight towards your left hip. And just notice what you can feel, what sort of awareness you can create. Come back to center, and let's rise up to hands and knees. Drop your forearms to the mat, and then drop the crown of your head towards the mat too. Rounding your upper spine like cat pose, press into the forearms and separate the shoulder blades. Then press your hips back, come up to your fingertips, maybe drawing the fingertips back towards you, lifting the wrists. Rise back up to your forearms, and then drop your forehead down, crown of the head down, and round your back powerfully. Draw your abdominals in. Then press the hips back, come up to your fingertips and maybe drag them back an inch or two. Lifting high up onto the fingertips. Then let's rise to hands and knees. Lift your chin, lift your tailbone, and let the spine be heavy between the shoulder blades. Then let's round our back, tucking the chin in and using strong abdominals to curl the tailbone beneath you. Come to a neutral spine. Then let's tuck our toes under and lift our hips, downward facing dog. Slowly begin to bend one knee, bend the other knee. Take your time. Breathe as deeply as you have the room. And come up on the toes, bend your knees till the shins are parallel, and walk your feet forward. Lift your chest halfway to lengthen, then fold to deepen, and just release your spine. Relax the back of your neck. Let gravity work to make space between the vertebrae. Using strong abdominals, rise all the way up and reach. Then bring your fingertips together in front of the heart like you're holding onto an egg and round your back, pressing the shoulder blades apart. Strong in your core. Then reach high and fold low. With soft knees, lift your chest halfway and place your right hand palm facing down on the right lower back. Open up into a twist. Release your hands down and fold. Then find your halfway lift and take your left hand, palm on your left lower back, twisting and focusing on lengthening the lower spine. Release your hands and fold. Then step back to a high plank and pause. Strong legs, strong core. You can always drop the knees if you want as you slowly lower the body. Now, slide your hands down towards your hips and come up to your fingertips. Then lift your chest to a baby cobra. Hug the elbows in and then drop your forehead down to stretch the back of your neck. Gently slide the hands under your shoulders and melt back into a downward facing dog. Bend your right knee a little, turning your hips. Then bend your left knee a little, turning your hips. Press both heels towards the mat and engage your lower abdominals powerfully. Bend both knees almost touching the floor. Then walk your feet forward. Lift halfway, long in the side bodies, then fold deeply. Let's relax in this forward fold for a few moments. And if you'd like to bend one knee and then the other, if you'd like to sway your chest or sway your head, feel free. Let's rise all the way up and reach. Then bring the fingertips together in front of your chest, almost like you're holding an egg. Round your back and tilt the tailbone beneath you. Then press down to reach up and fold. Left hand under forehead, right palm to right low back, twist, and focus on engaging the lower abdominals to curl the tailbone beneath you. Release. Other side, right hand under forehead, left palm at left low back, twist, but focus on engaging the lower abdominals. Release your hands. Then step back to a high plank. Focus on the belly muscles strong. Then lower your body slowly with control. Now slide your hands down towards your hips and come up to your fingertips. Engage your legs and lift your heart, hugging the elbows in. Drop your forehead down to stretch your neck muscles. Then slide the hands forward under your shoulders and pour your body back into a down dog. Bend your right knee a little. Bend your left knee a little. Press both heels down, engaging the low belly muscles. Breathing as deeply as you have the room. Then bend both knees so deep you might touch the floor, stretching your toes, and walk your feet forward. Lift halfway and fold, and relax in this forward fold for a few moments. Maybe swaying the chest, maybe bending one knee and the other. Whatever feels good to you. Then let's rise up and reach. And fingertips in front of the chest like you're holding an egg. Round your back and curl the tailbone powerfully beneath you. Then let's reach high and fold low. One more time, halfway lift and place the right palm towards the right low back, curling the tailbone under you as you twist. Release and fold. Then find this on the other side, left palm to left low back. Use the weight of your hand to gently create more space in your lower spine. Then release both hands down, fold. Step back to a high plank. Engage your legs, engage your abdominals. Then slower than you want to, lower your body. Slide the fingertips down towards your hips. Engage your belly muscles as you gently rise, hugging the elbows in. Then drop the forehead down to the mat, stretching your neck. Slide the hands under your shoulders and melt back into a downward dog. You can bend one knee and then the other. Be gentle. Notice what you feel and where you feel it. Bend your knees so deep you might touch the floor, and then walk your feet forward. Lift halfway and fold, feet hip bones distance apart. Take a few moments to relax your spine, to really let the back of the neck go, maybe shaking it gently, yes and no. Now, place your hands under your feet and hug yourself deeper into your fold, tractioning your spine with the strength of your arms. Let's release the hands and rise all the way up in reach. Fingertips together in front of your chest, round your back like cat pose, strong in your abdominals. Then reach high, turn your toes slightly outward, and bend your knees, maybe bringing the elbows towards the thigh bones. Then fold. Lift halfway and step back to a plank, strong in your core. Slower than you want to, lower your body. Point your toes back, lift your belly button up and in, and with the fingertips back towards your hips, rise, elbows hug in, forehead to the mat. Then slide your hands under your shoulders and find your way to down dog. Bring your feet together. And let's lift the right leg, not too high, just at hip level, and turn the right toes inward, maybe at about 20 or 30 degrees. Step your right foot between your hands, left heel down, and widen your stance. Come up to your fingertips and round your back like cat pose with warrior legs. Then rise up and reach. Bend your right elbow and hold on to it for a tricep stretch. Draw your low ribs in and sink deeper into your hips. Then straighten your leg and fold, fingertips down. Take your left hand towards your left hip and turn your hips to the side. Then release the hand down, draw your right hip bone back and round your lower back. One more time, left hand to left hip, peel your hips open. Then left hand down, right hip bone back, round your spine. Then bend your knee and slide the left toes back like a lunge. Take your right hand to your right low back and twist, gently curling the tailbone underneath you. Both hands down, curl your right knee into your chest, crouching tiger for 3, 2, 1. Leg goes high, but not too high. Release it, down dog. High plank, Lower the body. Hands down by your hips, up on your fingertips. Lift your upper back and hug the elbows together. Then drop your forehead down. Slide your hands under your shoulders and melt back into down dog. Bring your big toes together and then lift your left leg. Can you turn the left toes inward and feel a different stretch in your hip? Step the foot forward, right heel down, and widen your stance. Come up to your fingertips and round your back like a cat pose in a warrior stance. Then rise up and reach. Hold on to your left elbow for a tricep stretch. Draw the low ribs in and sink deeper into your hips. Then straighten your legs and fold. Right hand to right hip. Peel your hips open towards the right. Then hand down, left hip bone back, round your spine. We'll do this again. Right hand to right hip, peel your hips open to the right. Then right hand down, left hip back, round your spine. Then bend your front knee, slide the right toes back a little. Left hand to left low back, twist. Use the weight of your hand to create more space in the low back. Then both hands down. Lift your left foot and hover in a crouching tiger for 3, 2, 1. Leg goes high but not too high. Then lower it down. Come to a high plank with a strong core. Then smoothly lower the body. Point your toes back, slide your hands towards your hips, and as you lift the belly button, lift the chest. Forehead down, lengthening the back of the neck. Then slide your hands under your shoulders and pour your body back into a down dog. Notice your breath. Feel free to bend one knee and the other. Let it feel amazing. In your down dog, remember that lower belly engagement that curls the tailbone under and helps you create more space in your lower spine. Now bend your knees, maybe so deep they touch the floor, and walk your feet forward. Now this is different. Place your hands on the mat in front of your feet. You might need to bend your knees. Move some weight forward to your hands and engage your belly muscles so much you almost come up to the balls of your feet or to your toes. Then let's rise all the way up and reach. Fingertips together in front of the chest. Round your back. Curl the abdominals in tight. Then reach high. Point the toes out to the sides. Bend your knees, elbows towards thigh bones. Then fold. Turn the toes in. Step back to a plank. Engage your belly muscles strong and lower the body a little slower than you want to. Point the toes back, engage your quads, lift the navel, fingertips back towards your hips, lift the chest. Then drop your forehead down. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Press up and back, down dog. Bring your big toes together and lift your right leg. Turn the right toes inward and just notice where you feel it differently in your hip. And step the foot forward, left heel down, and widen your stance. Come up to your fingertips and round your back. Feel your abdominals. Then rise like a warrior 1, but bend your right elbow for a tricep stretch, holding on to it. Low ribs in, hips drop. Then straighten and fold. Left hand to left hip bone, peel the hips open. Release it down, square your hips and round your back. Left hand to left hip, open to the side. Drop your hand, bring your right hip back, round your spine. Then bend your knee for a lunge. Right palm face down on right low back. Twist. Use the weight of your hand to create more room. Then release the hand down and bring the knee into your chest, lifting the right foot, crouching tiger. 3, 2, 1. Leg goes high, then release. Come forward to a plank, then lower your body with control. Point the toes back, strong legs, lift your belly button, lift your heart to a baby cobra. Then drop your forehead down and slide the hands forward under your shoulders. Press back to down dog. Bring your big toes together. Then let's lift the left leg and internally rotate the left femur bone so the toes point a little to the right side. Where do you feel this? Step the foot forward, right heel down, widen your stance, and then round your back like cat pose. Rise up, and then hold on to your left elbow for a tricep stretch. Low ribs in, hips drop down. Straighten and fold. Right hand to right hip, peel your hips open to the right. Then hand down, left hip back, round your spine a little. The right hand to hip bone, open your hips to the right. Then hand down, left hip back, round your spine. Then bend your knee for a lunge. Left hand to left low back. Twist. Use the weight of your hand to create more room. Then hand down, lift your foot, knee into your chest, crouching tiger for 3. Really curl the tailbone under for 2. 1, lift the leg high but not too high, and lower it down. Downward facing dog. Then plank. Then lower the body. Point your toes back, engage your quads, lift your navel, lift your upper chest. Then drop your forehead down. Then slide the hands under the shoulders and press back to down dog. Notice where your body is getting warmer, where you're feeling more aware, where fluidity is being created. Bend your knees so deep they might touch the floor. Then walk your feet forward. Half lift. Then plant your hands on the mat. Isometrically hug the arms together and come as high up onto your toes as you can. Engage your belly muscles. It should feel like you could lift into a handstand from here. Then drop your heels and rise up and reach. Fingertips together in front of the body, round your back. Then reach up, toes point out. Bend your knees, maybe elbows to the insides of your knees for a goddess pose. How low can you drop your hips? Then fold. High plank. Engage your belly muscles. Lower your body. Point your toes back, engage your quads, lift your belly button, up on the fingertips as you lift the chest. Then drop your forehead down, stretching your neck. Hands slide under shoulders. press back, down dog. Big toes together. And just enjoy not being in a rush. Lift your right leg and then turn the toes towards your left. Step the foot forward, left heel down. Widen your stance with the right foot out to the right and round your back. Then rise. Hold your right elbow for a tricep stretch. Draw the low ribs in and drop the hips. And straighten your leg and fold. Left hand to left hip. Peel the hips open towards the left. Then hand down, right hip back, round your spine. Left hand to left hip, peel your hips open. Hand down, right hip bone back, round your low back. Then bend the knee, right palm to right low back. Turn your chest, but focus on creating length in your lower spine. Hand down, crouching tiger, hover for 3. Round your back powerfully, 2. 1, leg to the sky, but not too high. Lower it down. Shoulders over hands. With control, lower the body. Point your toes back, engage your quads. With the fingertips back towards the hips, rise, elbows in. Then forehead down. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Melt back into your down dog, bringing the feet together. Lift your left leg and internally rotate the femur bone to turn the toes towards the right. Step your foot forward, right heel down, widen your stance, and come up to the fingertips and round your back. Rise up, holding onto your left elbow for a tricep stretch. Draw the low ribs in, drop your hips deeper. Straighten your leg and fold. Right hand to right hip. Peel the hips open towards the right. Hand down, left hip bone back, round your spine a little. Right hand to hip bone, open to the right. Hand down, left hip bone back, round your spine. Then let's bend the front knee. Left hand to left lower back. Twist, but focus on using the lower abdominals to create space in the low back. Hands down, last crouching tiger. Hug the knee to your forehead and round your back for 3. 2. 1, leg high but not too high. Then lower it down, down dog. Bend one knee and then the other. And just let yourself feel the warmth you've created, the softness, where you're opening, where you're becoming more pliable. Bend your knees so deep they might tap the floor. Then walk your feet forward. Half lift, hold. Now walk your hands forward, plant them firmly, and lean some weight into them, coming up to your fingertips. Can you claw the floor with your fingertips even stronger? Can you engage your belly more? Then drop your heels and rise all the way, reach. Fingertips together in front of the chest, round your spine. Then reach and fold. Halfway lift, plank. Strong core as you lower the body, slow. Point your toes back, engage your quads, lift your belly button, and come up to the fingertips as you rise. Bar head down, then slide the hands under your shoulders and press back to a down dog. Let's lift the right leg just at hip level, slightly internally rotating the leg. Step the foot forward, stay up on your back toes this time, and come up to your fingertips, rounding your spine, engaging your core. Rise up to a high crescent lunge. Then let's interlace our fingertips behind the body and move the hands towards your left hip bone. Gently pressing down and maybe turning your chest slightly towards the right. Release your hands down, step your back foot a little closer, and find a revolved triangle with your right palm towards your right low back, focusing on the abdominal engagement and the lengthening of your lower spine. Then release your hands and walk your hands towards your left, turning your toes in the same direction. Then fold, letting gravity work on your spine. Gently press into your hands to deepen the stretch in your hamstrings, and let the back of the neck relax. If it feels good to gently sway the body weight from side to side, feel free. Then walk your hands towards your right foot and maybe move the body weight towards the outer blade of the foot, the pinky side, stretching the outer ankle. Then step back to a plank. Lower your body with control. Hands slide down towards your hips. Lift the belly button, lift the chest, elbows in. Then forehead to the mat, stretching your neck. Hands slide under shoulders. Melt back into your downward dog. Lift the left leg at hip level, slightly internally rotating the femur. Then step it forward, staying up on your back toes. Round your back up on the fingertips, feel your core. Then rise up like a crescent lunge. Interlace your fingers behind you and gently move the hands towards your right hip, maybe turning your chest 45 degrees towards your left. Then release your hands down. Step your back foot a little closer and find a revolved triangle, but with your left palm towards your left low back, focusing on engaging the abdominals and finding that little curve in your lower spine. Release your hands and walk them towards the right side, turning your toes to the right. This time, point your fingertips in the opposite direction of your toes, walking your hands through your feet and fold. Feel free to sway the chest, to relax the back of the neck, or move your body weight from one foot to the other. Explore a little bit. Then walk your hands towards your left foot and maybe come up to the outer blade of the left foot, stretching your ankle and rounding your back. Then step back to a plank, taking a nice slow vinyasa. Lower the body with control. Point your toes back, slide your hands back towards your hips. Lift your chest, elbows in, then forehead down. Hands slide under shoulders. Guide your body back into a down dog. And take a few breaths here. bending one knee and then the other, and acknowledging the change that you create. Because of the work you put in here, your body is a more peaceful place for your spirit to live. Bend your knees till they almost tap like a crouching tiger. Then walk your feet forward. Half lift and fold. Plant your hands on the mat and lean some weight forward into them. Claw the floor with your fingertips and come high up onto your big toes, almost like you could float up into a handstand. Then heels down. Release. Rise all the way up and reach. Fingertips in front of the chest, round your back, curling the tailbone under. Reach high, looking up. Then fold. Halfway lift. Step back to your plank. With a strong core, lower your body. Slide your hands toward your hips. Engage your low belly and rise, elbows hug in. Then forehead down. Hands slide under shoulders. Pour your body back into a down dog. How deep is your breath? Right leg up at hip level. And lunge your right foot forward and come up to your fingertips, rounding your back in this crescent lunge stance. Rise all the way and reach. Then fingertips interlace behind the body. This time move the wrists towards the left hip, pressing it down. And maybe slightly turn your chest towards the left. Dropping the hips. Then release your hands down, straighten your legs, and find your revolved triangle with the right palm at the right low back, focusing on that lower belly engagement and curling the tailbone under. Then walk your hands towards your left, turning the toes to the left, and as you fold, place your palms right at your hip bones, pressing your hip bones up and back to allow your spine to cascade forward, creating your own traction. This is an active pose. Then release your hands and walk them towards your right foot. Maybe coming up to the pinky side of the right foot, stretching the outer ankle, rounding your back. Step back to a plank. Lower your body with control. Slide the hands back towards your hips, up on your fingertips, rise. Then forehead down, stretching your neck. Hands under shoulders. Gently press the body back to a down dog. Left leg up at hip level. Lightly step the foot forward, staying up on your back toes. Come up to your fingertips and round your back, strong in your center. Then rise up with both arms. Interlace your fingers behind the body. And then gently move the wrists towards your left. Pressing the hips down. Maybe gently turning the chest a little to the right. Then release your hands down, straightening your legs. And find your revolved triangle with the left palm towards your left low back, focusing on engaging the lower abdominals to curl the tailbone under to create more freedom. and your hips. Now walk your hands to the right, turning your toes to the right, and let's have some fun. Move some weight forward into your hands. Strengthen your arms, isometrically hug them together, and come up to your toes. With that feeling that you could float up into handstand, strong in your center. Claw the floor with your fingertips. Then release. Walk your hands towards your left foot, maybe rolling to the pinky side of your left foot, feeling the stretch in the outer ankle, rounding your back. Then gently step back to a plank. And with a strong center, lower your body. Slide the hands back towards your hips, come up to your fingertips, and lift the upper chest, elbows in. Then forehead down. Slide the hands under your shoulders and press back, downward facing dog. Feel free to bend one knee and then the other, and notice the gentle turn of your hips, the freedom, the spaciousness you create here. Now drop your knees, feet together up on the toes. Open your knees a little wider and sit the hips towards your heels. You can either round your back up on the fingertips, which is plenty, or walk your hands to your thigh bones, or bring the fingertips in front of the chest, rounding your spine. One of my friends lovingly calls this toe breaker pose. Now, let's release this. Cross your ankles, lie down on your back, with your feet on the floor and the knees to the sky. To create a little more room, pick up your hips and guide them towards your heels. Pick up your shoulders and guide them away from your hips. Then walk your feet wide and drop your knees towards the center of the mat. Then let the knees sway from right side to left side. Shin bones a little like windshield wipers, to notice the movement in our hips. Then place the feet hip bones distance apart, shoulder blades a little closer together, preparing for a bridge. Lift your sacrum up off the mat and pause, feeling your abdominals. Then lift your mid back, lift your upper back, and if you have the room, support your hips with your hands. And this can be a pretty creative place to shift your body weight from side to side, to let your hands create some traction for your low back, maybe coming up on your toes, maybe not, but just let your hands massage the lower spine, and then release. Move your hips down towards your heels, move your shoulders up away from your hips, and then let the knees drop into center with the feet wide. And let your knees move from one side to the other, appreciating the range of motion that you have. Then place your feet hip bones distance apart for another bridge. Shoulders shrug together beneath the body. Then lift your sacrum and pause, feeling your abdominals support. Then lift higher with your mid-back, with your upper back, and rock the shoulders from side to side until you can get your palms either around the sides of your hips or directly beneath your sacrum, the triangular bone at the base of your spine. Feel free to rock from side to side, to let your hips have a little movement, a little bit of space. Experiment with coming up or down on the toes and see what feels good for you. Then slowly lower your spine back down. Feet wide, moving your hips towards your heels, moving your shoulders away from your hips. Let the knees fall to center. And then from one side to the other, appreciating that watery quality of the synovial fluid surrounding your hip joint. Then feet on the mat, knees to the sky, last bridge, lift your sacrum and pause. Then rise all the rest of the way for your bridge pose. Maybe bring the palms right under your sacrum, shrugging the shoulder blades together. Rock from side to side. And some people like to straighten the legs in this pose. Do what feels right in your body at this time. Then gently begin to release all the way back down. Move your hips towards your heels. Move your shoulders away from your hips. And let the knees fall to center. Then let your knees sway from side to side. Now, let's pick up the hips and move them a little to the left side. Place your left ankle on top of your right knee and let the knees fall towards the right. Place the right hand on your left thigh bone and press it away from the body, creating a little space in the left hip. Breathe deeply and freely. We're in the home stretch. Then come into center and let this go. Pick up your hips, move them a few inches towards your right. Right ankle on top of left knee, then let the knees fall towards your left. Place your left hand on your right thigh bone and gently press the leg away from the body, creating more room for your hip to breathe. Relax. Cooling down for Shavasana. Gently release towards center and make yourself very comfortable. Maybe moving your hips towards your heels, moving your shoulders up and away from the hips. Feet wide as your mat, letting the knees drop to center. And you can stay here with the knees bent to the sky for Shavasana. It can be very therapeutic for the low back. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth. Let it go. 2 more deep breath in, fill your lungs. Open your mouth and release. Last one, inhale. And exhale, let it go. And just find the most relaxed place you can be for your Shavasana. Let's begin to bring a little movement into your hips, your fingers, your toes. Wake your body up and appreciate everything that you feel. Maybe sway from side to side. Maybe roll over onto one side in a fetal position. Take your time, but let's find our way up to a seat. Find a comfortable place to sit tall with your spine, letting your arms rest wherever they may. One of the ideas with this practice can be to find peace in our center when there's action on the outside, and to find attentiveness in our center when there's peace on the outside. To be like that crouching tiger, patient when we need to be, and ferocious when we need to be. Finding a blend of both. Find your breath and feel how you are in this moment. Let's bring the palms together, wherever you like. Thank yourself for putting in the work, for practicing. And thank you for being here. This is Yoga Creatives. Please subscribe.